Welcome to the February 4th, 2025 occupancy tax special meeting.
Public hearing. Public hearing.
Public hearing. Welcome. Who's first?
Anyone want to, I guess, citizen comments or anything? You can ask for those, and then we can go over the resolutions.
No to taxes.
Thank you. Anyone else like to comment on the, I'll just tell you, I'll read the resolution and then you guys can comment if anybody would like to comment. So it's basically an occupancy tax being levied, a 6% room occupancy tax levied, being presented to levy about for the town of Newland. And it's under Session Law 2001-439, which was ratified in October of 2001, and Session Law 2002-94, which was ratified in August 2002, which authorizes the town of Newland to levy a room occupancy tax. We have to have a public hearing that has been advertised and held in this matter prior to consideration by the Board of Aldermen as required by general statutes, and the public hearing is tonight, February 4th, 2005. Now therefore be it resolved, the town of Newland Board of Aldermen, acting in its capacity as the governing body of the town of Newland and pursuant to North Carolina general statutes, hereby levies a room occupancy tax of 6% of the gross receipts derived from the rental of an accommodation within the town of Newland that's subject to sales tax imposed by the state of North Carolina under North Carolina general statutes. This tax is in addition to any state or local sales tax, and the tax is effective at 12 a.m. on the first day of April 2025, the same being the first day of the second calendar month after the adoption thereof. Further be it resolved, or be it further resolved, the proceeds from the 6% room occupancy tax shall be collected and distributed in accordance with the provisions of North Carolina Session Laws 2001-439 and 2002-94, and shall be administered by the Town of Newland Tourism Development Authority as established under separate resolution adopted by the Board of Aldermen. The Town of Newland Tourism Development Authority of the net proceeds from the room occupancy tax levied hereunder to promote travel and tourism in the town of Newland, and shall use the remaining 1/3 of said net proceeds for tourism related. That's the resolution for the occupancy tax.
So does that mean that all the money goes to the Tourism Development Authority? That last sentence, is that how did I hear that?
Other than the administrative part. There's an administrative part of it that goes to the town for administering the finances of it.
And then
The rest
2/3 goes to them to promote tourism, and then, but they also get another 1/3 at the end, so it all goes to them?
the TDA,
Yes. So all the funds go to the TDA.
except for the amount that goes to the town for the administrative fee.
Who's the TDA?
That's what we're coming up with. We have to establish a TDA. It'll be a 5-member board, a 5-member authority, and that's the next one that's like several pages. And I have applications. I've made applications for people that they can fill out the application. And then once we have everyone that wants to be one of the 5 members, then it comes before the board to choose those TDA members.
I have a question. Members of the TDA need to be residents of Newland.
Correct. Or they can be business owners in the town of Newland. Because you do have business owners in the town of Newland that are in the business of collecting tax currently, like a business owner, let's say Carolina Pizza, for instance, or Kay's Kitchen, or someone like that, the campground, Nathan Gittner. Those are all people that are business owners that don't actually reside in the town of Newland.
Who governs that? Where is that said?
What do you mean? Who governs what?
I mean, just make that up, that yes, they have to be residents, or they can be business owners, because, I can see if it was just residents, because it's just residents, you have the ability to vote. Now all of a sudden, we're allowing business owners who don't have the right to vote, which is obtuse to me. Did you make it up, or is it like something in the statute? Is there a statute that we can go by?
I don't know about the statute to go by. I'm only going by what on, Avery County, Watauga County, Sugar Mountain, those folks, so.
So they have a precedence?
They have a what?
Precedence.
A precedence. They didn't say whether it was, I mean, I can find out before we actually hire, or before we actually appoint the TDA. I will certainly find that out and get it back to you tomorrow.
What are the powers of this TDA?
Spending money on advertising and stuff like that.
Like putting out, like trying to get tourism into the town, like.
So it's just a development sort of association, they're not they are non-voting.
No.
Right, now they just all get together and say, we're gonna do a billboard in Charlotte, that says come to Newland on this date, that'll be good.
Yeah.
And they are also in charge of any funds that they collect with, the funds that we collect, the funds that they collect as the TDA is managed by the TDA, and it is the finance officer and the town manager are ex officio members of the TDA based on them being I guess the statutes say that they're the ex officio members. Because,
Is this something that you and Jessica have to take on as well, or y'all the ones that do
Yes.
the secretarial work and?
well, no, so they can appoint a secretary, so they appoint a chair, a vice chair, a treasurer, and a secretary and a treasurer. The treasurer is the finance officer, ex officio member, so. Since the TDA does kind of work for the town, then you have that town finance officer on the TDA so that, because they even have to be audited like our town gets audited. Our town finances are audited, so is the TDA. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Cindy, will the TDA do like the festivals, or should you have?
Sure, so it's, that 2/3, let me see if I can find
They
it.
would support it, they wouldn't be.
Yeah, they wouldn't actually do it, no, you could still have, you would still have your events committee,
Yeah,
but
the
the,
committee will go to them and say, hey, we get $5,000.
right, right. So the way that, some of the ways you can look at it is that the events budget that we have that's been dwindling over the years because we need the money in other buckets, then the TDA money can backfill those events, that event, the money. So I think we had maybe started out with 15,000 this year, but we've had rob Peter to pay Paul and other line items in the budget. So, yeah, so some of that money can be used for events, festivals.
Is the occupancy tax only on people, only on beds that are rented for short term?
Yes, sir. So 90, okay, so it's for accommodations that are rented for 90 days or less in the town of Newland. It has to be, those accommodations have to be within the town of Newland. For instance, I had to go back and forth with the School of Government on the campground. So at the campground, you cannot levy a 6% occupancy tax on a concrete slab or a gravel pad that has a faucet and a sewer hookup. But if the campground owner has a camper that they own personally sitting in the campground and they rent it out for 90 days or less, like a short-term stay, then we can levy occupancy tax on that. Or if they have a tiny house in their campground, which is an accommodation. Accommodation means, roof, walls, floor. But we can't tax them on, if I pull my camper in there, you can't tax them on my camper, but you can on their own campers or their own tiny homes.
You can't tax
Tiny
the
houses.
individual campers?
No, you can't tax the individual campers, because they pay taxes, highway use tax, to have a tag on their camper. So, yeah. So places like Airbnbs, Shady Lawn, the campground, they're permanent campers at the campground, if they're only renting them or renting them out for 90 days or less. If they're renting them out for 6 months or more, we can't tax. The levy doesn't apply to that.
So seeing as how we opened the 90-day door, that was one of my questions. Is that right now we have people over there who were over across the street who were not planning on being there for 90 days, but have turned out to be because they were here, they've been displaced by the storm and it's just taking longer. So is that a scenario where I need to collect it, and then if they do it, then I've gotta refund the money back to them? Or if they say they're gonna be there for 4 months and they end up being there for 2, then I gotta go back and do that? And then how do we reconcile all of that? What does that look like? Cause it sounds like an accounting nightmare.
I would imagine it doesn't take effect April first.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He's asking
Oh,
once.
that's another problem. You wanna do that problem?
Sure.
So that problem is, we've got reservations on the books well past that time. So I did go and update our system last month, so any reservation that's come in the last 30 days, it's collected it. We've got hundreds of thousands of dollars that it's not on there. And to go even further, the challenge especially is gonna be, some of our reservations, particularly with Expedia, they prepay those because they get a discount. Well, to go back and to get that tax added to that is going to be incredibly difficult at best, highly unlikely. So I would request, if there's because I would really rather not pay. I mean, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars reservations like that. And I mean, we're talking about putting something in, in 50 days, 55 days. I mean, that is a short runway to change a law to go out and raise taxes. So that's a whole separate issue. So that was another one of my questions. To give you some facts around that, we have reservations all throughout. If you wanna say, well, we'll put this in when there are no reservations on the books, my guess is you're probably not gonna be interested in that, because the last reservation we actually have is December 30th of this year. So it'd have to be January 1st, 2026.
No.
So I would request of the board that if we go down this road, we come up with a way to figure out how to do this. Again, anything that's been going in within the last 30 days, it has flagged it, but the stuff before that has not. Going back to the 90-day rule, what do we do with ones who they say they're gonna be there longer and then they're not, or they're planning on being there for 6 or 8 weeks, and they end up being there for 12? Is that just an accounting thing that I've gotta track and audit and back out and all of that stuff?
Yeah. I know what you're saying, Mr. Gibb. And basically, what you would do, you would go in, and it shouldn't, I don't know how hard it would be, I don't know, I haven't seen your computer system. But what you would do, you would just go in and levy. I know that if I go to Pigeon Forge and I book a room before I get there, it's a certain amount of night.
Right.
But now when I get there, it's always up, because then they add the taxes into it, as soon as I get there.
What he's saying is.
I would
like, for me,
sue him for
instance,
that, cause that's bait and switching, that's actually illegal.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
But what he's saying is, like, I checked in on September 25th, thinking I was gonna be there a month. 4 months later, I just checked out this weekend, possibly gonna keep it total. And it's because of an
The
extended.
flood, yeah.
But that's more than 90 days, so.
After 90 days, you can't tax.
Yeah.
But I
After
can't-
90 days,
I-
it's long-term. It's
If
not
I've
taxable,
collected
Yeah,
for,
but he's collecting.
if I've collected for the
Yeah.
first
So
90
if I'm
days,
paying
and he
every
stays
month.
there 91 days, I have to refund
Fine.
Yes.
all of the 90 days.
Yes. Yeah, if someone comes in long-term and rents it like weekly or
Yeah.
something like that, but what I would do is and I understand probably what you're asking for is the workers that come in.
Yes,
And,
that's
yeah,
right, yeah.
is the workers, and what I would do is, they could make reservations, but most of them go home on the weekends, correct? A lot of them?
They find that they would rather just rent the rooms, clean, cause then they don't wanna have to move all their stuff in and
Yeah,
out. So in
absolutely,
general,
yeah.
they don't. I'd
Yeah.
rather them do that, cause we could rent those rooms out on the weekends, especially
Yeah.
this time of year, but
But-
they generally
From,
don't.
from all of the forms that I've found from all the counties and towns in North Carolina that I've pulled their actual accounting documents, it's the cost to the business. I mean, the person that's paying the room occupancy tax, there's nothing on here that shows us, it shows me where we have, that there's a concession to back that back out. I don't know. is it a cost to the business? Well, apparently, because none of these forms show, well, I need to back, where's the line where it says back out, that particular amount? I mean, sure, if they go over 90 days, but, then you would have to do it. So that would be on your end that you would have to do it. And this, you would have to fill this out saying, these are the amount of rooms
Right.
that you rented,
Right.
less than 90 days.
Right,
And then your gross retail receipts, you have to add all that in, and then it tells you what taxes are due. So you would have to do it from your end, maybe?
all right.
So what?
All right, so then, okay, so then you only want gross receipts that are greater for rooms that are there for less than 90 days,
Total rooms available for rent,
okay?
total rooms nights sold,
Right,
gross retail receipts,
okay,
less gross retail receipts for rooms rented for more than 90 consecutive days to the
Okay.
same occupant,
okay,
net rental receipts subject to sales tax.
so I can back out that is going to be a nightmare. I mean, I can do it, I know how to do it, that is gonna be a nightmare.
Well, welcome to it.
I also wanna make sure, so this is just on this is obviously just on the room, so this doesn't count any extras or anything like that, so that's separate.
What do you mean
Not
What do you mean by
subject to it.
extra? What do you mean by extra?
Somebody smokes in the room, we have a $300 cleaning fee.
No.
No,
This
that's
is
just-
this is
that's
just
on
your
you.
room
Right.
rental.
That's on you.
Room
Right,
rental.
right, so, but I'm just making sure that
Yeah,
that's
if your
not.
room rental's $100 and you have to charge them 25 for smoking, you're only paying taxes on $100.
I'm just verifying.
For the customer,
The customer pay,
renter
yeah,
paying
yeah.
taxes.
The-
Basically, Nathan, what this is, it's a tax increase without hurting the residents of the businesses in you.
And there may be
That's mostly true, I would agree. We do get a number of residents, here in Newland, a lot of Neighbor County, Land Harvest used to be doing most, but here in Newland, who, they have family come and they're like, I just can't handle 5 days with my grandchildren. I love them more than anything itself. I would give my life up for them if I had to, but I just can't handle 5 days. Yes, ma'am, I know. I shouldn't, and I'm not. And so you're right. It is mostly that. But please don't think it doesn't impact anybody here in Newland, because it actually does.
Oh, I understand it does,
It's
yeah.
not a big number, but it actually, does out there. The other question is, and how are we gonna do with this? So, we don't collect all of our taxes. So, some of our business partners, Expedia, Booking.com, they collect some of the taxes. But they don't collect, but it's not that they collect the taxes on all of the rooms that get booked through there. It'll make your hair hurt to explain it, but they do it on some, they don't do it on others. So we never even get them. So what we get paid by Expedia, if Expedia collects the taxes, what we get paid is we get paid the room rate minus the taxes, minus their fees. So we really only get what's ours. So do we back that out of that? And you're gonna have to go after Expedia and
No,
Booking in order to get that?
we go after Shady Lawn. We
Yeah.
don't go after Expedia. It's
Expedia
based on
is
your
on you.
rooms, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Expedia is on you as
not-
a
You
business
just-
owner.
It's a tax
How much
based,
is the room a night?
$150.
Okay, so basically you would add $9, now it's $159, starting April the 1st there.
Okay. So you're saying that even though Expedia is collecting this tax,
they're
I
not,
have to
they're
keep-
not collecting occupancy tax.
They are.
You're collecting
no, they're
occupancy
not, they
tax.
collect it.
Well, then they need to pay you because you have to pay the
Yeah.
TDA.
They collect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to pay the
That's
TDA.
about-
Again, that's all on you as a business.
With Expedia.
Can you-
I swear I
can-
think that,
Can you
they
not,
send a separate check to the town,
who sends a separate check to the town?
Expedia.
Expedia.
I mean, I can check. Have you asked any of the other hotels?
So, no,
Okay.
because they're the only hotel. So no, we've
Maybe-
already got, we've got them set up, they are flagging it for their future, for the future reservations, out
Banner
there.
Elk would might be good for you to ask, Best Western, because they've been collecting occupancy tax for
Oh, yeah.
a year now.
Oh, yeah, no, and she's great there, no, we have, alright, if this is the right thing for Newland, I will do it.
It is the right thing for Newland.
I would say, this is going on record, this is gonna put an incredible burden to do this. This is not simple, easy accounting, to track all of this. And I truly pray that this does bring in the kind of money that you think it will. But I know what our revenues are across the street, and I know that with the additional Airbnbs, Verbos, there are 12 of them in the city, is what I was told. I have a feel for what their occupancy is, because we use them if we are full and a room goes down for whatever reason, we'll rent one and send one of our guests over there. I do hope they're wrong, but I can calculate what the number's gonna be. I don't think this is gonna be a big number. And it sounds like it's all gonna go to this TDA, minus whatever administrative fees in order to manage all of this, which I think is not gonna be fun for the town.
Yeah, we can't change that statute. The only thing that we can change is we can go to the state and we could say, can you flip the 2/3 and 1/3? Can we make the 2/3 tourism-related activities, because that's a broader scope, and you can spend that on capital projects. That's the only thing that we can do, so.
But we say you can't change the statute was passed 4 years ago, and we're just voting on it now?
The statute was passed in 2000,
State
2000
statute.
Oh, the original one?
yes.
That one, yes. All right. Those are my thoughts, and those are my concerns about this.
Workaround. My son was in Colorado, and he had to sign a rental agreement every 59 days because of the same situation, where there was a limitation on getting the tax 60 days or more. So he signed a different agreement in this case, it would be every 89 days.
Right.
So that it qualifies for 90 days or less, and then a whole new agreement for the next 89 days, et cetera, et cetera. And that was legal in Colorado.
I'm sure it's legal in North Carolina too.
And that would only affect people that are staying more than 90 days.
That's right.
That wouldn't affect somebody that's spending 3 nights.
Right.
Of course not.
Regular village, sure.
But to back out the taxes, if they happen to stay longer than 90 days, that nightmare gets averted.
Yeah.
Good point. I'll check out.
Personally, I just don't understand why you wouldn't want to pay an occupancy tax to help your town out, to help build up the revenue for your town. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to pay that. When nothing else is being paid, when something like that is going to help your town out, I don't understand why you would not want that occupancy tax paid to help the town out, to further put more money into.
I believe I was clear that if this is what they believe is best, that I would do it,
Okay,
and I would support it.
Well,
you seem very against it.
let me,
I'm sorry?
You seem very against it.
I
I think
just,
it's against the logistics of it.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is just gonna be an accounting nightmare. And if
Well,
there's
that's
a-
on you.
And if there's a way to fix it or alleviate it,
How does the town chase down these Airbnbs that are going on?
I have to go to the county and ask for the,
But how's the county, I'm just curious.
because at the beginning of the year, they send you that appraisal form that says, report if you rent your property. So that's the only thing I can go by, and Facebook posts and, you
So I
know.
need to keep checking that box that says no, mine is storage. Gotcha, okay.
Yeah,
look,
Are you saying you have one?
No, mine,
not yet.
Not yet.
not yet.
Not yet.
anyway, let me say this. Look at the roads. Look at everything around here. And Nathan, I know you have a business. I understand that. But this board that we will put together off of this, they will do advertising for you. They will do everything for the town businesses. And that's not on your dime. I mean, what to have Joe Smith from Mississippi who come by for 4 days, pay that, $9 and it go over here and then do your advertising and all that and maybe can improve roadways and that with it.
I cannot argue against that, I would agree.
That's, I mean,
But two questions, two things. One, first of all, but can the TDA spend money on roads? Because it has to be tourism related. I mean, that's my,
It's, yeah,
that's my concern. I don't think that this is gonna give you guys a bunch of extra money that you think it's gonna do.
well,
Just spend it on stuff.
yeah. I mean,
The other thing is, and I wanna make sure there's a clarification. If we have a tax exempt customer, that we do not collect sales tax, they would also be exempt from this tax, from the statement that I heard in there, I'm asking, because if they're subject to state sales tax. So I'm clarifying. So we've got a couple of ones who've given us their tax documents and we don't take tax on them. Just clarifying that we do not collect an occupancy tax from them also.
I think that's correct.
that is correct.
yeah,
Okay.
I would say that's probably correct, but I don't know
However,
I don't know the answer, but I will find out.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think we need.
Whoever does your accounting need to answer that question.
okay. All right.
And if there's any way the TDA could support a festival, wouldn't that be cool?
Well, I think that's what it's for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
amen.
fruition. I mean,
It's to get people in here to rent the rooms, to buy the barbecue, to,
Put heads in beds.
yeah. And it's, like I said, I think it'll save the town money overall because it's gonna take away their entertainment fund, is what she said overall.
Events fund, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'll take that away and it'll pay, like I said, I mean, I know that you're saying it ain't gonna be that much money, you don't think by the logistics, Mr. Gannon. But I'm saying right now, if it collected $25,000, that's a lot of money to this board. And you know what I love about it best? That money ain't coming from the town residents and citizens of Newland,
Amen.
And business, I mean.
and businesses.
And if they go to the Puerto, after they get their liquor permit and have a real margarita with tequila, we can get tax on that too.
That's
We
right.
get money from that too.
Absolutely. So this is another way to help us benefit from the alcohol.
Cause they can walk back. They're not drinking and driving, they're walking back.
But at this time, I'll go ahead and make a motion, we accept this occupancy tax.
Well, we haven't closed comments.
Oh, no, we can't vote here, can we?
Yeah, you can yes, you can vote in the public hearing on the resolution to, levy an occupancy tax. The TDA would be in the next meeting.
Okay.
You can do it in either one, but
let's do it now.
Any
Any more
other-
comments, concerns, questions?
Can we vote on that?
yes. There weren't any other comments.
Accept occupancy tax levy.
I'll make a motion to accept the occupancy tax levy at 6% for the town of Newland.
I have a motion about a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else? You got it, that?
Did you vote?
I didn't bring my hand up. Let's do it, let's knock it out.
Okay, this is the resolution creating the Town of Newland Tourism Development Authority. It basically says the same thing, it's that you use the occupancy tax, the TDA uses the occupancy tax to promote tourism in for the town of Newland. That the TDA shall consist of, if you want, you guys can change this any way you want, but I wrote it as a small town for 5 members.
Can we do 3?
That's fine. That's what I said, it's up to the board. So
Are
we-
two of them on that board, you all?
No, that we're the ex officio, that we don't count in that number. So, for instance, a county has normally 7. So I went with 5 because that's what some of the other towns have. Of course, their towns are sometimes bigger than us. Sometimes when you have an authority or a committee, when you have 5 members, you can have, you don't have, how can I put this? If you have 3 members, you have 2 that are buds, they always vote the same. So if you have a 5-member committee or authority, you have less this going on, but that's up to you guys. I just wrote it, 5 members, that 2 of the members shall be individuals who are affiliated with businesses that collect tax in town, and 3 members shall be individuals who are currently active in the promotion of travel and tourism in the town. And then, it basically says the terms for the members. You have alternating terms. 2 members shall be appointed for terms commencing immediately after we form the TDA and get the members. And their membership will expire August 1st, 2028, the other 2 members, August 1st, 2027, and the other one, August 1st, 2026. So it'll be a year, 2 years, and 3 years. And you can go through all of the rest.
It appears that you will be the treasurer of that board.
The treasurer, yes, so the treasurer is not a TDA member though.
Yes.
So yes, the chair, the vice chair, the secretary, the treasurer is the town of NEWLAND finance officer, and such and such. The TDA can also form committees within the TDA, like you have a, marketing committee, a budget and finance committee, and an administrative committee. Those are just the ones that are sort of like what other towns and counties have.
I'll make a motion that we, accept this resolution for creating the Tourism Development Authority Board with the membership from 3 to 5. And that we're gonna take applications for this at this time.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Stevie, are you gonna place a time limit for getting those
Yeah,
applications
because,
back?
yes, because we should have them back before April 1st if we're going to start the levy on April 1st.
Okay.
Sandy, will the applications be on the website or?
Yes, I have some here tonight, and then Jessica can also put them on the website.
Mr. Mayor, at this time, if nothing else in the public hearing, I'll make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Have a motion, close this hearing, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
See y'all in 27 minutes.
Okay, probably like maybe next week, because this week I'm slammed with FEMA stuff that I need to do. Just the town hall number, option 5. Yes. You are, let me tell you, hold on a minute. You used to be at Banner Elf. So will we want